Success isn't born from fleeting feelings. It comes from something deeper, stronger, and more enduring. In life, when motivation fades, only an inner fire can carry us forward. This is where true dedication begins. Rooted in spiritual wisdom, we discover that obsession, when driven by clarity and purpose, becomes the path to real achievement. Let's explore how deep, focused commitment changes everything and leads us beyond mere inspiration into transformation. Lesson 1. Motivation offers temporary sparks, not sustained fire. Motivation feels good, but it doesn't last. It's like lighting a match bright and exciting at first, but gone in seconds. It comes when we're inspired by something we hear or see, but the feeling fades when things get hard. Many people start something big with excitement, but give up when motivation disappears. That's because motivation is based on mood. It depends on how we feel, and feelings change all the time. Spiritual teachings remind us not to rely on emotions alone. Just as a candle can be blown out by a breeze, motivation can be taken away by fear, doubt, or difficulty. The truth is, life doesn't always feel easy. When problems come, motivation often disappears. In those moments, we need something deeper to keep going. Wise teachings guide us to build our lives on effort and clarity, not feelings. We are taught to keep walking, even when we don't feel like it. That's when true strength is born. Motivation can start the engine, but it won't drive the car to the destination. We must replace it with consistent action and mindful direction. When you stop depending on temporary highs and start focusing on discipline, you begin to move steadily toward your goal. You stop waiting for the right moment and simply begin. Success is not about how many times you feel inspired, but how many times you keep going without needing to be. That's how you grow. That's how your inner fire builds. So instead of chasing after every new spark, build your own fire. Make your purpose stronger than your feelings. Let your effort be your light. Then even when it's dark, you'll still know the way forward. That's the wisdom of choosing stability over sparks. Lesson 2. Obsession fuels an unwavering internal drive. There's a different kind of energy that doesn't depend on mood or outside events. It comes from deep inside. It's not loud or flashy, but steady and strong. This is what we call obsession, not in a harmful way, but in a focused, pure way. It means being deeply connected to something you believe in. When you're obsessed with a goal that feels right to your soul, it becomes part of you. You don't wait to feel motivated. You don't need permission or approval. You just move forward, again and again. In spiritual practice, this kind of inner drive is seen as powerful and sacred. It teaches us to stay committed, even when the path is long. When you're obsessed with becoming better, you accept the struggle. You know that the process won't always feel good, but the purpose behind it is clear. That clarity keeps you grounded. Every step becomes meaningful. Every small effort counts. You stop needing external rewards because the journey itself becomes fulfilling. It is not about proving anything to others. It is about living in line with your inner truth. When your mind is focused, your energy stops scattering. You become calm, sharp, and determined. You know why you're doing what you're doing. This deep connection to your path removes the need for constant motivation. You wake up with direction. You continue without applause. This inner force becomes your daily guide. It shows you that success isn't something to chase, it's something to live. This is how obsession, when rooted in mindfulness, becomes a peaceful kind of power. It doesn't burn you out. It lifts you up. It gives you patience and purpose. And when the world is full of distractions, this focused energy helps you stay on course. That's how real change happens, from deep inner obsession that never fades. Lesson 3. Motivation initiates. Obsession relentlessly pushes forward. There's no doubt that motivation can help you start. It's the spark that makes you take the first step. It feels exciting and fresh. But after the beginning, when when the road gets harder, that initial excitement is no longer enough. Most people stop at this point. They say it's too difficult or too slow. That's because motivation can't carry the weight of real growth. It's too light, too emotional. This is where obsession makes all the difference. Obsession doesn't need a fresh start every day. It just keeps going, no matter how things feel. When you're obsessed with something meaningful, you don't stop when it gets hard. You find a way to keep moving. You find strength even in discomfort. That's how lasting success is built step by step, with consistent effort. Spiritual teachings tell us not to be ruled by feelings. They tell us to act with discipline, not just desire. That's what obsession teaches us, to continue even when the heart is tired. It turns your goal into a part of your life, not just a passing idea. When this happens, you stop searching for reasons to continue. You just do it. Your mind becomes quiet, focused, and strong. You stop thinking about quitting. You stop needing motivation videos or morning inspiration. You become your own source of fuel. Each challenge becomes a lesson, not a wall. Each delay becomes part of the plan, not a failure. You don't keep restarting, you keep building. And the more you build, the more solid you become. This is how obsession turns ordinary effort into unstoppable growth. It teaches you how to move forward in silence, with strength. When you live like this, you no longer ask, "Will I succeed?" Instead, you know you will. Because you're not depending on emotion, you're driven by a deeper purpose. That's the power of moving with obsession. Lesson 4. Obsession thrives amidst setbacks, where motivation falters. When life is easy, it's not hard to keep going. Motivation works well when everything flows smoothly. But the real test comes when you face setbacks. This is where most people stop. They doubt their path. They feel tired, lost, or discouraged. Motivation disappears in these moments. It hides when things get hard. But obsession does something different. It comes alive. It grows stronger in struggle. When you're truly obsessed with your goal, pain doesn't push you away. It brings you closer. You learn from it. You grow through it. Difficult moments become part of the journey. In times of hardship, spiritual wisdom teaches us not to run, but to stay still and breathe. To face the discomfort with courage. Obsession teaches you the same. It keeps your mind fixed, even when the world around you shakes. You stop seeing setbacks as signs to quit. Instead, you see them as tests to pass. You understand that pain is not the end, but part of the process. When others quit, you continue. When you fall, you get back up faster. You no longer fear failure, because you're not chasing perfection. You're chasing growth. This mindset transforms your pain into progress. It makes your struggle valuable. And over time, you realize that success didn't come despite the hardships. It came because of them. Obsession gives you the strength to rise again and again. It helps you believe when no one else does. You stop needing results right away. You start trusting the journey. That's the kind of spirit that leads to real change. When setbacks come, let your obsession speak louder than your fear. Let it guide you through the darkness. This is how deep commitment shines, not just in good times, but especially in difficult ones. And through it all, you grow stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable. Lesson 5. Enduring success springs from deep, singular dedication. Lasting success is never an accident. It doesn't happen because of luck or short bursts of effort. It grows from something deeper, unshakable focus and lifelong dedication. This is what creates real transformation. It's not about doing many things. It's about doing one thing with all your heart. When your mind is scattered, your energy is weak. But when your mind is centered on one purpose, your power multiplies. Teachings remind us that a focused mind is a powerful tool. Just as a river cuts through rock by flowing in one direction, your dedication can carve a path to any goal if you stay consistent. Deep commitment means showing up every day, even when it's hard. It means saying no to distractions, even when they're tempting. It means being honest about what matters most to you. Obsession makes this easier because it clears your mind. It removes doubt. It makes your path feel natural, even if it's challenging. You begin to see everything through the lens of your goal. Every choice, every step, every habit becomes aligned. And with time, your small efforts add up. Your consistency builds momentum. Your practice becomes part of your identity. You no longer need to convince yourself to keep going. It becomes who you are. This is the key to enduring success. It's not found in the quick fix. It's found in the daily return to your purpose. It's the quiet, steady walk forward that eventually leads to the mountaintop. This kind of dedication is peaceful. It doesn't come from pressure. It comes from love for your purpose. When you give yourself fully to one path, the rewards follow. Not just external success, but internal peace. Your journey becomes lighter, your actions more meaningful, and in time, your life becomes the reflection of your focused devotion. That's what lasting success is truly made of. Lesson 6. Obsession naturally fosters consistent, disciplined action. Discipline is often misunderstood. Many think it's a strict rule or a forced habit. But true discipline doesn't come from pressure. It flows naturally when you are deeply obsessed with your goal. You don't have to force yourself to act. You simply act because it feels right. When you truly care about something, discipline becomes effortless. It's no longer about pushing yourself. It's about being pulled by your purpose. Spiritual teachings often point to the power of small, repeated actions. One drop of water may seem small, but it can fill an ocean if it keeps falling. Obsession helps you become like that drop, small, steady, and unstoppable. When you're obsessed, you show up every day. You follow through on your plans. You do the work, even when it's boring or hard. You don't skip steps. You don't make excuses. You just do what needs to be done. That's the foundation of progress. It's not about big, dramatic actions. It's about steady, disciplined movement. Over time, this creates massive change. Your body, mind, and habits all align with your goal. You become someone who follows through. This consistency builds confidence. It builds identity. You start to see yourself as someone reliable, focused, and capable. And when setbacks come, you don't fall apart. You return to your discipline. It becomes your anchor. You no longer wait for motivation to act. You act, and motivation follows. This is how obsession turns ordinary days into extraordinary growth. It gives you a rhythm, a structure, a peace. You don't feel scattered anymore. You don't waste energy on deciding what to do next. Your path is clear. You walk it with focus, with strength, and most importantly, with purpose. This is what makes disciplined action sustainable. Not fear, not pressure, but love for what you're doing. When your actions are guided by obsession, they become consistent and powerful. You don't have to chase discipline. It becomes a part of who you are. That's how real transformation happens. One disciplined day at a time. Lesson 7. Passion transforms into an all-encompassing, obsessive pursuit. Passion is a beautiful thing. It fills you with energy and excitement. It gives your life meaning. But passion alone isn't enough. It needs direction. It needs depth. Left unchecked, passion can fade or wander. But when it deepens into obsession, it becomes something unshakable, something permanent, something that carries you forward through every challenge. This transformation is powerful. It happens when you stop treating your passion like a hobby and start treating it like your life's work. You no longer dip in and out. You immerse yourself completely. Your goal becomes a part of your identity. Everything you do begins to revolve around it, and it doesn't feel like a burden. It feels natural. It feels right. When your passion becomes your obsession, You start to see every moment as an opportunity to grow. You stop wasting time. You stop waiting for the perfect chance. You live your purpose in the present. This kind of focus is rare, but it's what separates dreamers from achievers. Spiritual wisdom often reminds us to follow what feels true in our heart, to align our lives with what brings us alive. When your passion becomes your obsession, this alignment happens. You start to see every part of your life supporting your purpose. Even rest, even setbacks, they all serve the bigger picture. You feel joy in the struggle. You feel purpose in the pain. Your passion gives your days meaning, and your obsession gives them direction. And slowly, you become someone who no longer chases success. You embody it, you live it, you breathe it. You stop needing to be pushed. You become the force that moves things forward. That's what happens when passion becomes obsession. It doesn't make your life smaller. It makes it fuller, richer, more focused, and more free. You are no longer pulled in 1,000 directions. You are fully in tune with what matters most. And that clarity becomes your power. That's the gift of an all-encompassing pursuit. It gives your life true direction. Lesson 8. Obsession redefines sacrifice as a natural part of the journey. Success always demands something. Time, energy, comfort, relationships. Many people fear these sacrifices. They see them as painful, unfair, or too costly. But when you're truly obsessed with your purpose, sacrifice no longer feels like loss. It feels like a natural exchange. You understand that to gain something great, you must let go of things that no longer serve you. This shift in mindset changes everything. Instead of feeling bitter about what you give up, you feel grateful for what you're building. You stop seeing discipline, late nights, or hard choices as punishment. You see them as part of the process. Spiritual wisdom teaches us to let go in order to grow. We're reminded that holding on to comfort often holds us back. Obsession helps you see that growth requires space. And to create that space, you must release what limits you. Sacrifice becomes easier when it aligns with your values. You're not giving up for the sake of struggle. You're giving up for something higher. And every small surrender brings you closer to your goal. This kind of clarity makes you strong. You stop complaining. You stop comparing. You embrace the path with open eyes. You know what it takes, and you're willing to give it. Others may not understand. They may call you extreme. But that's because they don't feel what you feel. Your purpose burns brighter than your doubts. That inner flame makes every sacrifice feel worth it. Over time, your life becomes lighter, clearer, more focused. You stop chasing everything and start living for one thing. That simplicity brings peace. It brings power. You stop needing everything, and you start needing only what moves you forward. That's the heart of true success. Not having it all, but knowing what truly matters. Obsession redefines sacrifice as love in action. And when your love for your goal is deep enough, no sacrifice feels too big. You're not giving something up. You're making space for something greater. That's how obsession turns loss into gain. Lesson 9. Motivation chases external rewards. Obsession anchors profound purpose. Many people chase success because of what they think it will give them: money, fame, status, approval. That's the world of motivation. It's based on external rewards. It's fueled by results. But these rewards are unstable. They fade. They change. They depend on others. And when you don't get them fast enough, motivation disappears. You start to question everything. You feel lost. But obsession lives in a different world. It's not chasing applause. It's rooted in purpose. It's quiet, deep, and powerful. It's about doing something because it feels right inside. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're trying to fulfill something within you. Spiritual teachings often speak of purpose as something sacred. It's the reason you're here, the reason you get up each day. When you're obsessed, that purpose becomes your compass. It guides your actions. It gives you peace, even when the world is chaotic. You don't need instant results, because the path itself is meaningful. You're not working for approval, you're working from alignment. And that's a huge shift. It makes you resilient. You stop quitting when things get hard. You stop chasing validation. You focus on what truly matters. This kind of mindset brings calm and confidence. You feel strong because you're not dependent on outcomes. You're anchored in something deeper, something lasting. And when success does come, it's a bonus, not the reason. You're no longer a servant to praise or results. You are free. This freedom allows you to do better work, to think clearly, to stay grounded. Obsession gives you that gift. It anchors you in purpose, not prizes. And when you live like this, success becomes more than a goal. It becomes a reflection of who you are. Not because you chased rewards, but because you walked with purpose. That's the secret. External rewards come and go, but a purpose-driven life stays strong. And that strength is what leads to real achievement. Lesson 10. Absolute. Obsessive focus is the true engine of achievement. Distraction is the enemy of success. In today's world, it's everywhere, on screens, in our thoughts, in constant noise. It pulls our attention in 100 directions. And when your attention is scattered, your energy is weak. You can't build anything solid if your mind keeps shifting. This is where obsession becomes your superpower. It gives you focus. Not a little bit of focus. Absolute focus. All your energy moves in one direction. Your thoughts, your choices, your actions, they all align. And that's when real achievement begins. Spiritual wisdom speaks of the power of concentration. A still, focused mind is sharper than any tool. It can cut through confusion. It can overcome any barrier. Obsession brings you into that state. You stop wasting time. You stop chasing 10 goals at once. You choose one. And you give it everything? That kind of clarity is rare. But it's what changes lives. When you're obsessed, you think deeply. You act intentionally. You stay committed. You don't need distractions to feel good. You feel good doing the work. This kind of focus makes progress faster. It makes problems smaller. You don't stop to argue, complain, or compare. You stay locked in. You keep moving forward. And with time, your work speaks louder than words. You achieve not because you rushed, but because you stayed steady. You stayed focused. And you didn't quit. That's the quiet power of obsession. It doesn't make noise. It just delivers results. Day after day, step after step, until the goal is reached. This is the real engine of success: obsessive focus. Not wild energy. Not short-term drive, but calm, clear, and complete commitment. You don't try to do everything. You do one thing well. And in doing that, you unlock your potential. Your life becomes a masterpiece, not by accident, but by intention. That's what happens when obsession meets focus. That's when greatness begins.